Today we're making Korean butter Tteok. This viral dish is equal parts crispy and chewy. It's got all the fun textures of mochi and a canele crossed. It's really fun to eat and quite easy to make. We're just warming up a little bit of milk and melting our butter inside. You can use any sort of milk here. I'm using plain milk. And for butter, I prefer to use unsalted butter so that I can measure the amount of salt later that I want to put in. Once this has melted completely, make sure it's just barely warm and then set that aside. Now add your barely warm milk, that molten butter, inside the egg mixture. We're using two types of flour here today. We've got tapioca flour or tapioca starch, as well as glutinous rice flour. This is important. Now, don't use plain rice flour. You need to use glutinous rice flour because it's got the right texture. Together, these two types of flour will give this butter Tteok the correct texture that you want, that chewy interior that is very reminiscent of mochi. If you sift your flours in gently and you add them in bit by bit into the wet mixture, you shouldn't get too many lumps. But if you do get lumps, you can always press that out by pushing it through a sieve, making sure you don't have clumps of flour. This is ready to go into my baking tins. I've chosen these tins specifically because they've got these scalloped edges. That's going to increase the surface area and give me more of that crispy texture that I want on the outside. You're looking for baking tins with a little bit of thickness. Don't use the disposable ones, yeah? You are greasing baking tins like this. You want to make sure that your butter is at a specific texture. A lot of people are just going to melt the butter, but then it starts to split and it's a bit of an oily mess. I want my butter really soft. So go ahead and put this in a warm corner on top of a toaster oven or something, or leave it on a windowsill until it's soft. Ideally, you want this sort of texture. So you're looking to fill these tins at about, I'd say, 3/4 or 70% of the way, because they will still puff up and rise. When you are using an air fryer to bake things, it is always a prudent measure to preheat your air fryer. If you just put your item inside and you let it go with the full amount of time, the first couple of minutes, it's not going to cook in the intended temperature. So you must make sure that you preheat your air fryers whenever you use them, especially for baking items. When we decided to make butter Tteok, our producer asked us what's the difference between using an air fryer and an oven, so I'm going to try that. One batch in here, 170 degrees in the air fryer. A second batch here, 180 degrees in an oven. Let's see what the difference is. All right, moment of truth. Ooh, hello. I'm gonna take these out and cool them slightly and then take them out of the tins. Now for a taste test. It's got two distinct textures. Crispy, shattery, brittle on the outside. It's nice and thin. So I know a lot of people like to pair this with condensed milk. You can use maple syrup. But for me, this is sweet enough. That's the air fryer version. Now we're gonna try the version that we made in the oven. Same item, but somewhat different. A little bit more caramelized on the outside, but past the point of being nice. This is still tasty, but it's a little bit too crunchy on the outside. And the center, for me, isn't quite as soft and tender as the air fryer version. Please like and subscribe. Make sure you go and pick. I'll follow all the rest of our recipes. Till next time, thanks very much, guys.